Oh, look at that. We're recording. Hello, everybody. It's been a long time. Wow. It's been a while. How things have changed. Nothing changed. Nothing changed. We're still nerds. Don't worry about it.
My name is James Keith, and I've been on
And I'm
island for
Roy
5
Clancy.
years.
I'm rolling over. Fucking cut that whole bit out.
I've been stuck on an island for 5 years, and I come back with only one goal in mind: to save video games.
What are we saving video games from?
EA.
What have you got against EA, dude? Like, they bring us Apex. I mean, yeah, sure. Look at the long list of things that are going
but the long
straight
list
down
of
into
things.
hell. But
Yeah, exactly.
like Apex is the one thing that is still standing, that is like moderately good. This is what we're opening on, really? You shit talking EA yet again?
Listen.
Don't you have anything else to shit talk about, please?
Okay, yeah, sure. How about Activision? How about Blizzard?
I'm okay. All right. You know what? I have my own problems with Blizzard. First of all, their app doesn't work on my computer. For some odd reason, I still can't play Diablo 3. Figure that out, Blizzard. Somebody. Hit me up. Fix it for me. Please, I just want to play Diablo 3. And when Diablo 4 comes out, I'm going to be buying it. So please, help me out. Help a brother out here, okay?
Help a brother out here.
That was it. That was my one plea for someone from Blizzard to just fix. Please. Do I need to take my computer to someone to fix it? If that's the case, I will. I'll do it. Anyways, moving on, and more importantly, to the last, how many weeks has it been? 3 weeks?
I think it's been like 3 weeks.
We have a whole 3 weeks of back cataloged fucking news to work through.
Well, unfortunately, that's not the format of our podcast.
Oof. Well, say goodbye to 2 whole weeks of gaming news. That never happened.
Just down the drain. Just.
You see that? You see it going? You see that? Just there it goes.
But anyways, so
F's in chat.
all jokes and everything aside, we should actually give the podcast a proper intro.
All right, shall we then?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back
to A Week in Gaming,
or as we like to call it,
AWIG. Wow, we are very uncoordinated and unorganized. There's many things. There's many things.
But that's part of our charm, though.
Mm-hmm.
But
moving on.
It's been a bit since we last did a podcast.
Yes, it's been a while, a long while, and I hope everyone's happy and hungry.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to, take a bit of a time to explain why.
All right,
It's not a long story, but it's just kind of plain and simple. I went on vacation.
Boo! Vacation.
Excuse me for needing a frickin' vacation from work and from everything else in general.
That's the joke. Vacations are great. Everyone should take one. Everyone should have like a whole month to themselves. Is that so wrong?
Especially if you get a paid vacation, you take it. You take that vacation.
Yeah, paid vacations. Anyone that gets a paid vacation, you eat that stuff up. All right?
I do.
You take advantage of it. You take advantage of that, but
that's
also,
exactly what I did.
Make sure you respect your employers because they're the ones that are picking up the slack. And
they're the ones paying for it.
Exactly. Your coworkers are picking up your slack while you're gone, and your employers are the ones that are paying for your paid vacations. So thank them by working hard as soon as you get back. There you go.
Or by blowing them.
Depends on your workplace. If they're down for that. Who am I to judge? This whatever, man. You want to get blown? You want to do the blowing? I mean, this is a weird conversation. What happened? What can we get to games? Because I'm down for games.
Hold on. Just one more thing. I wanted to let the people know that I went down to beautiful South Carolina, right near Myrtle Beach. So that was a great time. And then I went to North Carolina as well in those 2 weeks.
All right.
What did you do while I was gone, Ro?
What did I do? I was at school.
And work?
Yeah. I was doing school and work things, playing Magic. getting back into Magic and then playing
Yeah,
Apex and Diablo.
you've also gotten me back into Magic as well.
Yeah, Magic the Gathering. Good
It's
times.
it's a fun time. I recommend everybody play it.
That's tabletop. That's tabletop gaming.
Yes,
But
but now we need to actually get into video gaming.
exactly.
And the first kind of story I want to touch on is not really like a big announcement or new gameplay. It's something that I've kind of noticed over the last couple of months. I would say, me and Ro, we're fans of Doom, right? You think
Oh
you
yeah.
call yourself a fan of Doom?
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I've played through the first game on your request. I did not play the original Doom 2. However, I do plan to. Played through
Definitely
Doom,
worth checking it out.
of course. I played through Doom 2016. Fantastic example of a first-person shooter. Very fast-paced, exactly how I like it. And I'm hyped for Doom Eternal. Why do you bring it up? Is it why I think?
Well, I just, there's something I've noticed. Are you a fan of Animal Crossing as well?
Can't say that I am. I won't. I won't. Diss people that play Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is something that I just never got into. So I've just kind of witnessed from afar the beauty that is Animal Crossing. So
Yeah, I'm not really a fan of Animal Crossing. I never really got into it. I haven't played a single one of those games. I've known people that have played them, and they seem like fun games, but it's just kind of not for me. But the reason why I bring up Doom and Animal Crossing in the same story/sentence is because both have new entries in their franchises coming out on the same day, with Animal Crossing New Horizons coming out on March 20th, as well as Doom Eternal.
if you guys
And
haven't picked up on this, this is definitely aimed for the people that are not fully aware of the meme culture that is surrounding these two games.
yeah, it's definitely meme culture for sure, because when you have different companies releasing different games on the same day, usually the companies themselves and the fans kind of put on, their war paint and show off their best war face and try and, have a battle of sorts, basically being like, my game's better, no, my game is better, no, my game's gonna sell more, my game's gonna sell, like kind of like that sort of battle at each other's throats and all that. That's what it would be with most other games. But
Yep.
apparently, with the fan base of Doom and Animal Crossing, instead of trying to rip and tear each other apart, instead, they've decided to just plant down some roots and, hang with Tom Nook for a bit as well. Because there's been quite a lot of meme culture and memes surrounding these two, and it's kind of basically free marketing for both of the games.
Free marketing is one way to put it. Yeah.
And it's definitely like it's showing off a fan base basically uniting together to basically praise each other's games and wish them well on their releases and all that. Because I have not seen one negative thing about you know the memes and the marketing, all that. They're basically kind of supporting each other in ways that we've never really seen when it comes to other games beforehand. So I just kind of wanted to take a bit of a couple of minutes to kind of point that out, just in case if anyone
And
watching.
Pat both. Honestly, from my perspective, if you don't mind me chiming in, uh, I'm more on the side of I'm patting both of the respective fan bases on the back because it to make reference to what you said before about putting on war paint and kind of going at each other's throats. These two communities have kind of put each other's war paint on. Like Doom painted itself in like very homey natural colors, and Animal Crossing they went the complete opposite and they painted themselves in blood and you know demons. So yeah, good job guys. What a
I wish.
crossover.
I know. I wish we had more crossovers, and just people from the video game community being more friendly toward each other like this, instead of just trying to always have a contest to see who's the best and why yours is the worst and you suck so much because you played it. Like, why can't we all just get along? Like, why can't we be friends?
Yep. Just find those communities that you're right at home with. And, I mean, that's certainly what's happening with Doom and Animal Crossing. And I'm sure that we're going to see more of this in the future. So, keep this momentum going. I love the
Exactly.
positivity. I'm
Yeah,
loving the
exactly,
positivity. Keep it up.
exactly. Like I don't play Animal Crossing. I don't really know what you do in Animal Crossing, but you know what? I don't knock people for playing it. Like I respect the community because they respect the Doom community as well. Like it's we've both grown a newfound respect for one another, and it's just something that it really is a highlight to me, and something that really needs to be talked about more because it should set an example for other communities coming together in the future.
Exactly. Is that a good spot to flip gears and
Yes.
head somewhere else?
Yes, let's head off from talking about communities coming together and let's split them right back apart because we're talking
Oh
about
boy.
consoles, baby. More console news.
Oh no. Oh god. We love putting communities together, so please be positive to each other. Not like what's going on between Xbox and PlayStation. Please don't do that. Thank you.
No, we
This has
want
been a
more.
PSA announcement from your friendly neighborhood Rowan.
No, we want
Moving on.
more console wars. We want more violence. We want more savagery. No, just kidding.
I want to see someone whip a PlayStation 5 across a building at someone carrying an Xbox Series X. Just
That's an
slingshot
expensive.
it. Just
Yeah, that's an expensive fight to start.
yeah, that's a really expensive fight. Don't do that.
That
If
sounds
you're in
like
a Best Buy
something.
and you see that happen, you shut that right down.
That sounds like
You
something
need
Elon Musk would
yourself
do.
right into the middle of that. You just plant yourself right in the middle, and just hey, stop that.
Stop it.
Just stop it. Get some help.
That's
You go home and play your PlayStation. You go home and play your
Or your
Xbox, and
Xbox.
that's it.
Nah, that's it.
You play
Like I
your
said,
Xbox.
exactly. Like I said before, that sounds like something Elon Musk would do with one of his other billionaire friends. They just throw PlayStations and Xboxes at each other because they got so much money to burn.
I feel like we just gave people a video idea. If that happens, I want to see it.
If
Send
that
us videos.
happens, send us the video and also make sure to give us credit for it as well, please. But
Please don't give us credit for people fighting each other. Stop. No. Why did you say that? Cut it. God damn. Okay. Moving
but
on. What
back
happened?
on
to
yeah,
PlayStation?
back on the topic at the hand here. But for the PlayStation 5, there has been another patent, so we're dealing with more patents. Like we've been talking so much about Sony patents and all that. We should just become the Sony patent podcast.
Yeah, are we getting a Sony sponsorship?
I hope so with the amount of times we talk about them. But
I mean, we don't really talk good about them. That's the thing. We should start talking good about PlayStation. Hey, PlayStation, you do a good job. Xbox, you do a good job too.
well, I feel like this topic could either be positive or negative, whichever way you want to see it. That's kind of up to you. But
Hit me with it. Drop it.
for
Drop the mic. Let's go.
For the PlayStation 5 controller, there has been a patent application that Sony has filed over in Europe that the company is looking to patent a biofeedback center attachment for the controller, which would
Okay.
measure the user's heart rate, and they would also put a sensor in there that would measure the amount of sweat that you get in your hands and all that. So basically, the controller would know how fast your heart's beating, how sweaty you're getting.
Okay, that just raises a lot of questions. First of all, if it has a heart rate monitor in it, if it reaches a certain BPM, wouldn't it just automatically notify the authorities? Are you
Well,
gonna get
they
like ambulances knocking on your door?
well they didn't really specify like what
Like
the
what the
exact
extent?
purpose, yeah, the extent of the heart rate sensor and all that, but who knows? Maybe that would be one of the features. If your heart rate gets too high, it's like, oh my god, call the police.
Can you imagine being really sweaty in an Apex game? Like you're in top 5 situation. You're like in like final zone, tight as fuck circle. Like you're like in a building and everyone's on a different floor and you're just sweating your balls off. You're at like 140 BPM and you're just like flying off the rails. And then all of a sudden you just get a knock on the door. It's like, hello, this is the ambulance. Are you okay in there? I would be so confused. I'd be like, dude, I'm trying to win here. What the fuck?
You're telling me you'd be confused? How do you think they would feel coming into your house
You'd
and
be
I just
really
see, oh, he's
confused.
just playing a video game. What
This
the
would
fuck?
take, okay, if that's the extent that PlayStation is going, I have a bad feeling that there is going to be some pranks being pulled with that kind of like sensor in the PlayStation, but we're going to have to wait and see if it actually goes through, first of all, and to what extent. Because if there is ambulance, like notifying, like a notification, sending it to your like local hospital or something, or local like ambulances just come from a hospital. Am I right?
Yeah,
I'm really dumb. I'm really dumb right now.
I think so, but like,
Okay, that's my point. That makes me worried. That is my concern. I don't know what's going to happen. But there you go. That was my 5 cents on it. Do with that what you will.
well, I don't think it's gonna, like, to be honest, if they do implement something like that, I don't know if they would go that far because it seems like that would be something they have to spend millions of dollars to make sure to get the technology to be calibrated for each, province, or if you live in the US, each state, each city and all. It just seems like that would be something a little too complicated to do. Maybe the whole heart rate and sweat monitor, maybe it's just for the player themselves. They can see. It's like those videos you see where some people play like horror games and they put a heart rate monitor just so you can see how fast their heart is beating because of, the fear and intensity that they feel.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean,
Maybe.
that actually could very well be like the reason why they're putting it in. So for those situations, like you're in a horror game, you're in a first person shooter game. So you can keep track of like, oh, this is how high my heart rate was during this instance in this game. Say you're playing Alien Isolation. Perfect example of like the entire game. You're probably going to be sweating profusely and your heart rate is
Yeah,
going to be very high.
man, I haven't played that game in a long time. I need to get back on that.
I mean,
I don't. I don't
there
think
are
I
certain
ever
horror
beat that.
games I feel like I did. However, I could be lying. I remember the end. I remember the end. So I'm going to assume that I did beat the game. However, I would love to replay it. So
I just
moving on
feel
from
like
that.
this would. Oh, I just wanted to say that. Like, I feel like even if they did implement something like this, it'd be taken by the community in a very, very memey and like laughable wrong way. Because then people would just keep making memes about it.
That is also that's the other side. But
That is the other side of the conversation. But we'll get
yes,
into that on another day, another podcast. We might get into that topic.
yeah. If
But
more news comes out that this is actually being implemented, then we'll talk about like the negative aspects that might be viewed from a certain corner of the gaming world.
yes,
Right?
exactly.
There you go. So, where would you like to head after that? Do we have any other console news?
Well, we do have some other console news. Wow.
Specific
Let's try that again.
specifically.
Specifically geared towards Xbox.
Hey, there you go. There's the other side. We did Sony, now we do Xbox or Microsoft. Microsoft.
So, Xbox plans, because of course they're coming out with the Series X this fall or wow, I can't English right now. They're coming out with their Xbox Series X sometime this fall,
Yep.
and of course it's a new console cycle, so new cycle of consoles, more new games and all that. But they also have backwards compatibility, so games that you buy for your Xbox One now will work on your Series X. So
Which is
that's
amazing.
which is amazing, exactly. But one thing they wanted to tackle about was that if you buy a game for your Xbox One, and you're worried about having to buy it for the Series X, if it comes out with a separate version for that,
Mm-hmm.
fear not, my fellow gaming compadre.
Compartrit. That's interesting. Interesting. But compadre, that's actually what he meant.
Yes,
Compadre is what he meant.
but you will get a free upgrade for the Series X version when you buy your game on, the other console.
So TLDR, when you buy Cyberpunk 2077 on Xbox One, say you don't have the Series X and you're wanting to wait a little bit after the Series X launches, and you already have Cyberpunk 2077 on the Xbox One, do not fear, for there will be a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 available for you. I don't know how this will work with GameStop and EB Games. Wait, GameStop doesn't exist anymore, does it?
Yeah, it does.
It
GameStop
does?
is the
Well,
US
GameStop,
version of EB Games.
Well, yeah. I remember that they had a couple of closures happen. That's where my brain went.
Yes.
But I don't know how it will work with retailers like that. But if I assume you buy it digitally, there will be a copy of Cyberpunk 2077 on your Series X when you switch over to the new console.
It is funny that you mentioned specifically Cyberpunk 2077, because they did make a tweet basically praising Xbox, but also confirming that their game is going to be one of the first ones to come with this sort of upgrade.
Excellent.
Because I'm probably going to throw the tweets, like screen cap the tweets from both Xbox and Cyberpunk, and just throw them up on the screen here. But I feel like they had very strongly worded tweets, and I'm not going to try and recite them because I'm going to fuck it up.
Okay. All right. I mean, let the audience read it out. Oh wait, hold on. There are going to be people that are listening, not watching, but they will probably be listening. So
make sure you keep your ears open.
Yeah, listen to us. Listen to us. Xbox tweet. Xbox Series X brings the next generation of compatibility. Play thousands of games across 4 generations that look and feel better than ever. Hell yeah. Smart delivery guarantees you're playing the best version of your game for your Xbox. That line makes me think that they're doing an overhaul on most of their games. So you will probably be getting 60 frames per second instead of the 30 frames that an Xbox One can pump out. Be excited about that. I hope that 30 frame cutscenes will be removed in the future. I hope we're going 60 frames. Let's aim high. Aim for the high.
Exactly. Let's aim high.
All right.
Because if we ask them for for real-time ray tracing and 60 frames in the same cutscene or game, yeah, we're just dreaming basically. But who knows? Maybe these new consoles. Apparently they're called consoles now, thanks to my brain. But these new consoles sound very powerful, so they should be able to deliver that kind of stuff without breaking the bank, like having to buy a $3,000 PC. Instead, you just buy like a $600 box and put it in your living room.
There you go. But now going back to what you were talking about with Cyberpunk 2077, well, the point that I brought up, the Cyberpunk response to this Xbox tweet was, gamers should never be forced to purchase the same game twice or pay for upgrades. Insert roarous applause for Cyberpunk for even saying that one sentence. Hell yes. Well done.
Well, I mean,
well
both Xbox and Cyberpunk gets a roarious applause.
Yes. But they continued on to say owners of #Cyberpunk 2077 for Xbox One will receive the Xbox Series X upgrade for free when available. They added when available at the end there. So it might take a bit for like the when available to kick in because retailers and everything, as I said. But Xbox is just selling me on the next generation console. That's all that they're doing right now, and it's working.
And it's working?
That. Yes, it is
well,
working.
They'll be glad to hear that. They'll be glad to know that you're going to be giving them your $1.
Yep. $1. Hey, guys, can I get an Xbox Series X for $1? Thanks.
One whole dollar.
It'll be a shiny dollar. It will be a really shiny dollar.
It'll be a solid gold-plated dollar.
Well, I mean, it's a loony, so I mean, unless they want American, in that case, give me a bit. Just give me a bit.
Give me a hot sec so I can get an actual bill.
Yeah, give me a second. I'll get a bill. I'll coat it in gold, and then I'll send it your way. Perfect.
All right. Well, all the whole bit and jokes aside, I want to stay on the whole Cyberpunk 2077 train because we have another story when it comes to that.
All right.
Have you heard of a musician known as Grimes?
Yes, I have, actually. I listen to her pretty much every day, or at least the same song every day, because I work in a mall.
Well,
it's great. I love Grimes. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I was going to say, well, I mean, I haven't heard any of her music, but if you didn't know, fun fact, she is engaged, or I guess with Elon Musk. And that's the only reason I know about Grimes. I didn't know that she was a singer or songwriter, and let alone she is also Canadian as well. I did not know that as well.
Yes, she is.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things I don't know about Grimes, but apparently. But when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077, you're probably thinking, why are we talking about a musician? What has she got to do with it? Well, fun fact, she's actually going to be in the game, and she's going to play a character as well.
Well, there you go.
And during one of her live streams, where she was talking with fans and all that, she actually leaked her involvement in the game. And she
Continue. I'll hold
I was going to say, it's going to say the actual original video where she just said this has been taken down. Obviously, I can't find any copies of it, but we do have an exact quote, which I'll throw up on the screen right now.
All right. Are you going to read it up?
I can read it for anybody who's looking. So her quote is basically her quote says, "I did my voice acting for Lizzie Wizzy. That game is going to be effing good. I mean, I haven't played it, but I saw someone play an hour of the game," she said. "The game was fantastic, and I play a pop star who committed suicide on stage, and they had to quickly come and perform emergency surgery and replace her whole body with cybernetics while she was dead for an hour. Then she finished the show as a cyborg. One of the greatest pieces of performance art ever made."
Oh, damn. Okay.
That is something very interesting and sounds very, honestly, out of that whole thing, that's something that sounds very cyberpunk-like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, to be fair to Grimes, if you were doing a voice acting bit for a game that you're pretty excited about, or say in her stance, when she watched that first hour of gameplay and the first moment that someone asked her about any voice acting, she just went right for it because her brain was probably still thinking about it.
Yes.
Exactly. Holy shit, I'm in that game? What?
Oh,
for real? Are you kidding? That looks amazing. That was probably what was running through her head. So, we can't really blame her for running her mouth a little bit. Honestly, if you were in her situation, I doubt you'd hold your tongue.
Yeah, and I mean, CD Projekt Red, they haven't responded, to her, having, punished her for it and all that. So I'm kind of thinking that maybe, it was a leak that they were kind of okay with. It's like, oh, did you say anything? Oh, no, she's a real character? Whatever. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, they can remove the tweet or remove anything that she said, but, I mean, if they're not really worried about it and it doesn't give away much of the main story, well, It's
No.
nice to hear that she's actually excited about being in the game. That's
Yeah,
what I'm taking away
exactly.
from that.
Like she doesn't reveal any major story spoilers or anything. She just talks about her character. So it wasn't really anything too earth-shattering. So I doubt CD Projekt Red was really too worried about it.
Yeah, there you go. And you know what? CD Projekt Red, keep doing you. Grimes, good job. I'm excited to hear your voice in the game. Lizzie Wizzy, is that what the name is?
Yes, Lizzie Wizzy.
Perfect. Sounds awesome. I have no idea what that means, but I'm just
I have no idea.
I'm just firing out some positivity there because people need it.
I know exactly. People always need
Take my
positivity, but
positivity. Take it.
I don't even know what she sounds like. I haven't even heard any of her music, so
Go
I'm
look up
not
some
100%
Grimes.
sure.
Go look up some Grimes. Just go listen to it after we're done our recording. Go listen to some Grimes.
I
You
think
will
I'll do it while we're recording a podcast. I'll just
just
zone out.
blast it. Hit us with a quick 1 second clip of Grimes. Just bam. There you go, Grimes.
And that 1 second is enough to get us legally taken down.
God. Ugh. Well,
Just 1 second of a Grimes song demonetized, and also strike on your channel. That's how YouTube would
what
do
if
it.
it
To be
was
honest,
just shittily played through a flute? Would
they
that be
find a way.
acceptable?
They find a way.
Ah, come on. All right. Anyways, all jokes aside, do we have any other Cyberpunk 2077 news or?
Unfortunately, that well is dried up now for Cyberpunk 2077 news until we get another demo or another announcement.
All right. Well,
But
that's
I feel like I've been kind of taking, or headlining the train here, going full speed ahead. Maybe it's time you did a bit of the talking for a bit. I know you have some stories. Why don't you share a piece or two from your side?
all right. Well, okay. So, as of where was it? Where was it? Where is it? I think Thursday. Yeah, Thursday of this past week. So that would have been the 27th
Yes.
of February,
Si,
2020.
senor. Si, senor.
Um, there's a couple of quick announcements. First of which, from my perspective, I'm very excited about this. Borderlands 3. I know most people are probably moved on from that game, but I still play it. I'm max level, and I'm still trying to beat Maliwan. The Maliwan takedown. It is one of the most difficult raid bosses I've ever had to deal with, ever. And that's saying something. I've played WoW. uh, Borderlands 3 on Thursday announced a new DLC. Can you believe it? They are already adding a new DLC.
Well, I
So
mean, they had a season pass and everything, so yeah, of course they're going to be adding DLC.
of course. I mean, they already had the first one, which was Mad Moxie's Hyperion Takedown, which badass, or the heist. It's basically you're stealing from a casino. It's a huge, handsome Jack built casino in space. It's fantastic.
So it's like Ocean's 11 almost.
Yes, it's Ocean's 11, except more guns.
More guns. Ooh.
More guns, because it's Borderlands and everything is about guns. So, I have pulled up a quick little thing here so I can read this off for you. I'm going to send it to you so you get to read it and post any photos for the people that are watching.
You can read it.
I'm going to read
Everybody
it.
gets to read it.
Everybody reads. All right. So the new DLC is coined Guns, Love, and Tentacles. And a very
Sounds
fitting
like a regular
title.
Friday night.
Exactly. In light of this name, this is actually an in-game wedding taking place between Sir Hammerlock and his husband, which we kind of got a little hint in Borderlands 2. This is spoilers, by the way. If you haven't played Borderlands 2, what were you doing?
Well, I mean, I've played Borderlands
disappointed.
2, but I didn't know he was gay.
He is. It's a fun fact. It's a little known fact of Sir Hammerlock, and by golly, it makes a lot of sense. And I love him for it. I love Sir Hammerlock. Sir Hammerlock is actually one of my favorite characters. Um, his husband, Wainwright Jacobs, well, to be husband to be. Uh, this new DLC will take us to new planets, uh, a town called Curse Haven with Cthulhu-like monsters, so a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons for fans of that, and an old friend from Borderlands 2 is going to pop up. So if you play a little bit of the trailer, you will be able to see that our dear friend Gage the Necromancer is going to be making a return for this DLC. And she is not the the only old Borderlands 2 character that will be making an appearance in the years to come, because they have 2 extra DLCs planned, which Randy Pitchford, when they announced the Guns, Love, and Tentacles, he came out and said, in future DLCs, we will see all of the original cast from Borderlands 2 make an appearance.
Are they going to be playable characters or just appearances?
Just appearances, and I'm certain that they will be NPCs that will fight alongside you in certain missions.
Interesting.
So that is something to look forward to. And I'm just hoping that they increase the level cap more than 3. Because they did that.
What's the level cap?
It's currently at 53. Like, it was originally 50. And then maybe Valentine's Day. At Valentine's Day, they increased the level cap by 3.
By measly 3 levels. Aren't they just so generous?
Wow. Way to go, Gearbox. Love you guys, but wow. Do we blame math? Do we blame, like the education system here? Because that's bad math. That's really bad math.
Just bad maths.
Bad maths. I'm going to blame bad maths and not, corporate decisions. So, that's Borderlands 3. If you're hyped for that game as much as I am, we should talk.
Add him out at Twitter.
Yeah, at me. At Twitter. Put my Twitter handle up right here. It is at Redling Roses.
Oh, really? I thought it was at 69 Roden 69 Renly 69.
That was my 12-year-old account. Don't add that. I don't think it exists anymore. It never existed to begin with. So, at Renly_Roses, if you want to hit me up for some Borderlands, because I'm always down to play. That, and also Apex Legends. Which, speaking of which, on Thursday, they also released a little trailer for us Apex players.
Wait, hold on a second. Well, you're not going to talk about the fact that Borderlands 3 is also coming to Steam in March, and they have a release date and everything?
I thought that was already covered. I thought that was already well understood amongst the Borderlands community.
Are you going to get it when it comes on Steam?
I may, if it works better than what Epic Games did to us.
Epic Game Store, oh god.
We don't talk about it. We don't talk about it, and we're not going to talk about it. If you want to talk about it, I will have an entire 20-minute TED Talk in the lobby of the nearest hotel, which would probably be the Fairmont in Toronto. It will be a TED Talk regarding why Epic Games should never have released Borderlands 3 on its system.
Ooh, I kind of don't want to tempt fate. At the same time, I kind of want to hear this. But at the same time,
that would be 20 minutes of this podcast. Absolutely not. I will not stand for that. So, moving away from that, now you've got me steamy a little bit. I can feel my face getting a little pink. But moving away from that, James, you play Apex Legends, right?
I think I like to say that I play it maybe like once or twice. Nah, just kidding. Of course, I fucking love Apex Legends.
Apex Legends, absolutely amazing game. I had fallen off of it for a good couple of weeks, and I have fallen behind. Not gonna lie, but now I'm back and I'm better than ever.
I think we're both on that same boat.
Exactly. So I'm going ham again. Uh, you, James, used to main a certain speedy boy by the name of Octane. Do you remember that?
Yes, yes, I did.
Yeah. You moved on to Pathfinder, which is amazing. Pathfinder is great. But our certain speedy boy is the next legend to get a heirloom.
Did they actually confirm that?
That is very confirmed as of the trailer that they released.
Ooh.
So if you want to pull up that trailer and go take a look at that, you will see that our Speedy Boy has a butterfly knife that's coming as an heirloom.
Ooh,
So it's a
yes.
dual-sided heirloom butterfly knife. One side, knife side. The other side is actually his syringe full of speed juice.
Full of speed juice.
Speed juice, and it's actually really funny. So we're getting the Octane heirloom pack. We also are getting a bunch of new skins. Pathfinder is getting one. Bangalore is getting a nice one. I think Watson and Lifeline are also getting a couple of cool skins. Pretty much everyone's getting something nice. It's Christmas again in Apex.
It's Christmas again.
It is Christmas yet again. And I'm excited. I can't wait. And this new event, for people who are unaware, or you're just kind of hovering around, you're not quite sure of whether or not to pick up Apex Legends. First of all, it is a fast-paced game. It is difficult. If you go into it expecting to be great after playing like Call of Duty, Halo, you're probably going to do well. You're probably going to be
You're
okay.
you're in for a rude awakening.
I mean, what you're just completely derailing my point. Honestly, if you go into the game expecting to get stomped around for at least your first 20 matches, just to warm up, just to get a feel of what the game is about, you will start to slide into it, and you will get better. You will get better. Don't demoralize yourself. You will get better. It's just going to take some time. But this new event will be available this Tuesday, March the 3rd. So, for everyone,
where are you going to
home,
be on March the 3rd?
March the 3rd, I'm going to be at school for half the day, and then I'm coming home and playing Apex Legends.
Wrong answer. You're going to spend the whole day playing Apex Legends.
Well, I mean, it only comes out at like 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So
well, you used to play Apex Legends before the update, and then updates, and then you play more.
Exactly. That's, you know what, James? What was I thinking? You know what? You're right.
Yeah, it's big brain time.
All right, big brain time. So yeah, that's my bit of Apex Legends news. No new word from the Legends series, like the professional Apex Legends EA sanctioned tournament that's going on. I haven't heard anything about that. However, teams like NRG and all I know is all the teams that are going to be in that tournament are practicing like madmen. That's all I know.
That's good. You want them practicing.
Hell
no
yeah,
slacking.
you do. No slacking. Use those PKs, peacekeepers. Brutal shotguns. Anyways,
I fully agree.
Do I have anything else? Yes. It's time. We're gonna take it. We're gonna take a second and breathe because we're going back to Raccoon City.
Oh boy, I don't know if I can go back there.
Oh, it's deadly there. You do not want.
You remember the last time I went there? I almost got a sunburn because of it.
Oh yeah, the sun. You You know, even with the rain and everything. I mean, it's consistently rainy. It's kind of like Vancouver. It's real bad. Uh, but it's consistently rainy, and even then, you'll still get a sunburn. It's brutal. But I was scrolling through Twitter just the other day, and this is the story that is going to hit home with you. I was scrolling through Twitter, as most people do, just minding my own business, and I see a little thing pop up on my feed regarding Resident Evil 3. We got new gameplay footage that terrifies the ever-loving shit out of me. First of all, we got more images regarding how Nemesis works and how nasty he is in terms of, like, how do I say this? Chasing you down throughout the entire game.
Nemesis? Don't you mean stars?
Stars. Yeah, that guy. That boy. He's going to be starsing you real hard. So, we got some new footage, first of all, of the amazing imagery of Nemesis busting through a wall at you. So we'll pop that up right here. And I also got one of the most terrifying things, and thank God for the new mechanic that they added for Resident Evil 3, which is combat dodge, which actually slows time if you time it correctly. Okay, let me repeat that. In this game, you have a combat dodge that was not in Resident Evil 2. This combat dodge will slow time if you time it correctly. Like, it's like a perfect counter. Do you understand? Like, does that make sense? It's great. I just sent James a couple of GIFs. Hopefully we can pop those up on the screen. The first one is of Nemesis busting through a wall. The second one is the most terrifying thing, which is Nemesis can now jump to cut you off when you're running away from him. So he will clear debris that you can't run through just to cut you off. And I'm sweating because of it.
Sweating because of it?
Oh yeah, I'm sweating a lot. But outside of that, they also confirmed, loosely confirmed, that there is going to be a one-shot demo similar to when they released Resident Evil 2. So it will give us a select time frame for us to play through a little bit of the game, maybe get through a couple of puzzles, run from Nemesis, maybe fight him a little bit. But it will give us a select time frame that we have to work with. Of course, I don't know how that's going to work, and I don't know any information about it, but I'm excited nonetheless.
Always be excited.
Yeah. So, with that being said, and I just talked a lot, James, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Thank you very much. All those, I appreciate you bringing your own stories to the show. You know, really helps me kind of catch my breath, but also pad out the show a little bit. So that's definitely great.
Exactly.
But I want to kind of get a little personal for a second. Like it's personal time.
Oh boy.
Have you ever heard of a little thing called the Konami Code?
Yes. Yes, I have. And I know exactly why you bring it up.
Well, we all know about the Konami Code and the impact it's had on games and also our culture as a whole. It's been featured in so many games. It was originally first introduced in a game called Gradius, whichever one of those two, how you pronounce it. And a little funny story behind it was that the developer that made the code actually added it in so that he could have a much easier time playtesting the game before it was shipped out, and he just never really took it out. And thus, the Konami Code was born. But I think I might butcher this name, so just be prepared for that. but the creator of the Konami code, Kazuhashi Hashimoto, has passed away.
Kazuhisa Hashimoto. Yes.
It was confirmed by one of his friends. I think it was a music producer or someone who works for Konami that he did indeed pass away, and it is very sad. Of course, the gaming community has come out to, pay their condolences and pay their respects because the Konami code is kind of a huge thing in pop culture. It's something that referenced all the time, and as I alluded to before, it's been placed in so many games like Gradius, and even one that I have played. Like I've never really played Gradius, but one that I've played and I hold near and dear to my heart is, of course, Contra.
Yes.
You boot up your Contra, you input the code up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start, and you start the game with 30 lives. If you've never played Contra before, I definitely highly recommend it. It's it's an old style, shooter, arcade shooter,
It's
side
side
scroller.
scroller with it's like 2D Castlevania style. Think Castlevania, but a little bit better, a little bit cleaned up,
Exactly.
a little bit more cleaned up.
But the reason why I bring up Contra and all that is because that was the game I knew the Konami code most well for. It's been added in other Konami games and also games outside of Konami as well. Has had the code featured into it, and I just wanted to take the time to kind of give him, a send off and kind of pay our respects because it's definitely something that hits close to home for me. And now this Contra sounds and footage goes out to you, Mr. Hashimoto. Thank you for bringing us the Konami code. Okay, thank you very much.
There we go. Sad times. Sad times.
Sad times.
And now we move away from sad times. For I feel like someone like him would probably want us to keep playing games in his honor and keep making use of that Konami code, which I hope is made reference to in many, many video games to come.
Exactly. It's had a huge impact, so we need to continue the legend and not let it die.
Exactly. Keep up the good work, and we'll keep playing games for you. We'll make sure that games maintain a level of awesome that I feel like you would be proud of. So, moving away from that, do we have any other stories that we'd like to end off on? A little bit of a lighter note?
Well, in terms of speaking about lighter stuff, we do have some Pokemon news.
I mean, that's a pretty light note, and I wouldn't say no. So, hit me with it. What do we got? We got Pokemon news? Let's go.
Well, I got two stories for you, boy, and for our audience as well.
Hell yeah.
But the one I want to start off with is that recently the Pokemon companies kind of celebrated their whole Pokemon Day thing, and they always make a big kind of a big deal of it each year because they celebrate themselves. And I mean, where would we be without Pokemon? It's a highly regarded and just absolutely cultural phenomenon that we both love and will continue to love for many years to come. But in celebration of Pokemon Day, we had so many different kind of Pokemon related things. But one thing that Pokemon fans were kind of expecting and also surprised is that we got news of a new legendary type Pokemon coming to Sword and Shield.
Ooh.
There was, I think, a leak about a week or two beforehand showing off a silhouette of the Pokemon, and we didn't know what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely looked interesting. It looked very much like, sort of a monkey kind of thing. But now we finally have not only gameplay, but also an official image of what the Pokemon is. The Pokemon's name
Drumroll, please.
is going to be Zarude.
Cue Darude Sandstorm. Alexa, play Darude Sandstorm.
And another copyright struck. Oh no, it's because we played that song.
No, but in all honesty, look at this thing and play Darude Sandstorm, and you will probably enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
You'll have a blast with it.
Like,
Anyway,
even looking at the video for Darude Sandstorm, he kind of, if you just put a pair of shades on him, he looks like he could belong in that music video, just running around, chasing people with a briefcase and all that.
oh yeah, hell yeah.
But
Zarude is Darude.
Zarude, you're gonna see a lot of Zarudes with the nickname Darude in the game, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
They also, getting back on topic here, they've also revealed information about the Pokemon himself. He is going to be a dark grass type. His category is that he's a rogue monkey,
All right.
and that he will have the ability Leaf Guard. We don't know his hidden ability or his gender.
I mean, Leaf Guard sounds kind of like Mirror Wall, I guess, or like, oh, what's the thing? I just made reference to Yu-Gi-Oh in Pokemon. What?
Wouldn't be the first time it's happened for some people, but Leaf
Man,
Guard.
I'm looking at myself confused. What? Jesus. All
But
right.
but I'll help you out here, bro. A Leaf Guard is a Pokemon ability that cures all status conditions to the user when intense sunlight is on the battlefield. So basically, if you use Sunny Day, you can, basically be protected from all status ailments.
Okay. All right. You know what? That just made a hell of a lot more sense. Did you
But
get
with
that?
this,
Okay. All right. Just wanted to make sure. I didn't understand a word that he just said. I don't get Pokemon, but I'm letting him do his thing.
with this, trailer that he revealed the new Pokemon, we actually did not get an official release storm. Oh my fucking god! Release date for when Zarude is going to be coming into the game, or even how to catch him. Like, we don't know how to get him, or when, or like how to get him, or when to get him. It's just kind of, they're kind of like, hey, here's a new Pokemon. He's a dark grass. All right, that's enough. That's all you get. Kiss my ass.
Yep, that's it. That's all. That's all. That's all you get. You wanted more? Nah.
That's exactly what the Pokemon community did. They kicked Nintendo's ass.
Oh god. Oh.
Man, I feel like we're not ever gonna get sponsors the way we talk about Pokemon and all that.
I mean, I love Pokemon, but I just wow.
Wow.
Just wow.
Wow.
All right. Moving away from that, Zarude looks like a pretty interesting addition to the Pokemon roster, especially with Pokemon Home being released and everyone being able to trade over their Pokemon. That's a pretty nice addition. But I
Exactly.
also am aware of a particular list that came out just a few days ago.
A particular list.
Mm.
Is it the top 10 list of reasons why I'm so awesome?
Well, it is a top 10 list, but for you, James, 10 reasons why you're awesome is honestly too little. I would actually aim for 20 for you. But
look at you being so sweet.
I'm a giant suck up. But the top 10 list that I'm referring to is the Pokemon of the Year for 2020, which doesn't really
Presented
make
by
sense.
Google.
Yes, presented by Google. Honestly, I'm not really surprised by half of this list. No, I'm not surprised by any of this list. However, I am disappointed that number 10 is what it is because I thought that Pokemon deserves to be higher. So that's my only gripe with it.
So yeah,
That's all.
The Pokemon Company released a video on their channel, basically showing us the top 10 Pokemon of 2020. And I guess you could have submitted your vote by Google somehow. I don't know what Google has to really do with this, but I made the joke, presented by Google. That's I guess as far as I know. But the top 10 Pokemon of 2020. Of course, I'm gonna have the video playing so you can watch it then. But the top 20 or oh my god, top 10 Pokemon of 2020
Yes.
is Gengar at number 10, which I know you're talking about. I know you
Mm,
love Gengar.
I love me some Gengar.
Number
Yep.
9 is Gardevoir.
I like me some Gardevoir, but
Number
you know,
8 is going to be Rayquaza. There's two ways of
Rayquaza.
saying this Pokemon's name: Rayquaza or Rayquaza.
I like Rayquaza. That's how I've always said it. But I know that there are potato
They're
potato. I've
Yeah,
never met
exactly.
him. I've never met a person that says potato, but
But it's a saying,
no,
so just
it's
go
a
with it.
saying and it kind of works. So Rayquaza,
Number
Rayquaza,
Yes.
go
Number
go
7 is going to be Garchomp.
Garchomp, go.
Number 6 is going to be, I think, one of the more popular evolutions. Well, actually, no. There's another one that appears on this list, so I guess not really. But one that fans seem to love is Sylveon.
I mean, appropriate. Sylveon is a lovely Pokemon. That's
And
the
number
psychic
5,
type, right?
no, it's the fairy type.
Sylveon?
Yeah, psychic is Espeon.
Oh, Espeon. Okay, all right. Yeah, Sylveon is the fairy type.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And speaking of evolutions, though, number 5 is Umbreon.
Hey, dark type. Hey, Umbreon.
Number 4 is going to be Charizard, which I'm kind of surprised. I thought he'd at least be number 2 or number 3.
Yeah, because Charizard has been at the top for a long time.
Yeah, he's been one of the more popular Pokemon for a long time.
I'm going to be very surprised. I would have been very surprised if he wasn't on this list. So he's at
Yeah,
number 4.
yeah. Honestly, me and you both. Number 3, I'm probably gonna butcher this name because it's one of the newer Pokemon, but Mimikyu.
Mimikyu?
Mimikyu?
Mimikyu.
Mimikyu?
Yeah.
It's the Pokemon that looks like a fake version of Pikachu. Or it looks like a ghostly version of Pikachu because he looks like looks like one of those old-fashioned ghosts,
Oh.
like people that would put a cover over their head and just kind of draw stuff on it.
Oh, right. Like the child. It looks like a kid drew, like a like a ghost Pikachu.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
That's yes, that's what I
Yeah.
was alluding to.
Okay.
Number 2 is Lucario, which
I
again
love
I'm
me
kind
some
of
Lucario. I love
yeah
Lucario.
I love Lucario too, but I'm kind of surprised that he made it so far up on the list. But then again, he isn't Smash. Probably one thing that kind of helps his popularity. And then the number 1 Pokemon of 2020 is, drumroll please,
I hope that picked up on Mike. Greninja.
Greninja is Pokemon of the Year 2020 presented by Google.
How did Greninja get to the top of the list? Well, first of all, he's a
I
ninja.
guess he's a ninja, and I guess he's just really popular. I have not really met a single person who is a fan of Greninja. Like I know he's in Smash Bros, and he's one of Ash's main Pokemon, and he even got a whole new form in the anime dubbed Ash's Greninja as well. So, and he's in Smash Bros as well as yeah, he's a playable character as well. So
Yes.
I don't know what the hype is with Greninja. Like I'm not on that train, so
I
kind of
mean,
consider me a little confused.
okay, here's what I will say, James. First of all, he's a ninja. Where do you go wrong? Second of all, he's a frog.
That's where you go wrong for me. A frog ninja.
Thirdly, he throws water shurikens, which are, which is pretty badass. You're not gonna find a frog that can do that in real life.
Yeah, but any type of ninja throws shurikens.
Yeah,
It's
but
one of
big
their main
water
tools.
ones, like water made shurikens that can cut through trees.
Sorry, you're still not selling me on Greninja.
Okay, fourth point. His scarf is his tongue.
That's fucking nasty. You're no. That's not no. Sorry, I will never be on the Greninja hype train.
I enjoy Greninja. I find it funny that that's what got to number one. But I mean, I'm sure that the reason for that was most likely just people who play Smash and how cool Greninja is as like in terms of looks, Greninja is very fucking cool. So
I mean that I will agree on that point. He does have a pretty cool design. Like when you like those points that you say a frog ninja who has its tongue wrapped around it as a scarf, like you think of something that looks like a nightmare, but the Pokemon Company they can always make something look cute out of a nightmare. So good on them. I definitely give them points design wise, but I still will never really be a fan of Greninja.
exactly. But nonetheless, I feel like that was a solid podcast? Question mark?
You don't have any
Is that
other
it?
stories?
At this point, not right at the moment, but I'm sure within this next week, seeing as we're getting into March, we're starting to get into the hype. So,
You're right.
within
We're
this
getting to
next week,
March, and you know what that means?
we're getting
March
close.
Madness.
March Madness, and we're getting close. We are so very close. To
To Doom
what?
Eternal.
Doom Eternal. And Animal Crossing,
And Animal
but Doom
Crossing, yeah,
Eternal.
exactly. And Animal Crossing.
But Doom Eternal. We're going full circle here, fam. We're building hype. We're getting close. We are
Exactly.
within like I don't even know. 20 days? 29? 28? Somewhere in there? Less than that?
Yeah.
Less than that. We're getting close. And with that being said, my name is Ron Clancy,
My name is James Keith.
and this has been
A Week in Gaming.
You We Got Snatched!